Hi everyone, it's Marie from Tennis Warehouse Europe. I'm here at the Adidas headquarters with Alex and the team, and during the next days we'll learn everything there is to know about something very, very exciting. It's the new Barricade 14.
We will also get the chance to playtest the shoes on the tennis court and discover the Apex experience, so let's check it out. So the next steps and the next experience we just have right now is at the Apex department. So Lisa, can you present yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, first of all.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I'm Lisa. I'm part of the Apex team here at the headquarters of Adidas. And Apex stands for Athlete Product Excellence. So our role is really that intersection between the athlete and the product, understanding the athletes and understanding the product and influencing both, especially the product based on the athlete needs.
Okay, super interesting. As we all know, the shoes are really performing, and the performance shoes. Can you tell us a bit the difference between these shoes and the athletes, like professional tennis players' shoes?
Yeah, so actually there isn't any difference. So what we really do and what part of our role is within Apex is making sure that the product is influenced by what our professional tennis players need. So we usually go through phases and 3 different prototypes when we build a shoe. Before we even start with that, we take the insights from our athletes to understand what's currently working on the shoe. Do they see any potential for improvement? Is there any area that they would like to maybe improve in terms of stability, in terms of comfort, in terms of lightness and weight? So we take that into consideration, and then we go through prototype rounds where we test with the athletes to then again incorporate their feedback, so that in the end, the product that we sell to our consumers is also the product that our athletes wear on court.
Okay, we made an Apex tour, and it was really nice for us. We can see that you are keeping evolving, doing really good things. What is the future of Apex, and where you want to go with all those technologies in the future of tennis in this case?
So what we really try to do here is collect data to inform the future products. And so with this new lab that we have here now, we're really just super excited to have as many tennis players here as possible to collect that data, and then to also use our space that we now have with the dynamic assessment area to understand the differences between the different footwear options that we have in the market, and then inform that to build the new products, make them even better, make them more innovative, be able to bring in newness without using the trusted features that our shoes have. So the Barricade being the stable option, but now with this option, for example, you see there is no compromise anymore between stability and comfort. So things like that, trying to support our inline product teams with the creation, with the athlete feedback as much as possible.
Okay, I mean, it's always really good to see how many efforts you are putting to tennis shoes. We are all fans of tennis, and we are super happy to get this kind of experience. So thank you very much for this, and also the experience I just got. Thank you.
Hi everyone, we are here today at Adidas with Annette. Hi Annette, can you please introduce yourself?
Of course, great pleasure. My name is Annette Steingers. I'm Senior Director for Racket Sports and Swim at Adidas, and I'm really excited to be with you today.
So we're here today to learn a little bit more about the Barricade 14. This is Adidas' most iconic tennis shoe, and we are very excited to know more. First of all, can you explain a little bit more the Adidas, the Barricade heritage, and what it really means to Adidas?
Yeah, of course, where to start? I think Adidas' Barricade is one of the most important tennis shoes over the last 25 years now. It was first born in the year 2000, and I think over the decades it's really been able to build an identity of really the unmatched performance when it comes to support, stability, and durability. I think it's actually transcended really just being a shoe, because it's really become that symbol of, grittiness, toughness, perseverance on court, and it's really stood the test of time also in, being the shoe of choice for really the most athletic, most physical athletes who really put a lot of wear and tear on their product. And it's a legacy that we're here to continue. and go with the test of time.
So to us and to everyone, Barricade equals stability. So when you started to think about this new Barricade 14, is stability the main priority when you started to design the shoe, or did you also think about everything else, like the speed, the comfort, everything at the same time?
So when it comes to updating the shoe and really working into learnings that we were able to generate from here. We know that with the heel, for example, on the existing shoe, this was something that had been really well received. We've been obviously collecting feedback from athletes of all levels. And the heel was always something that consumers had been celebrating and really given us feedback on. Don't mess with it. It's really premium. The underfoot experience, but also the instep and the lock-in of the heel. So we really wanted to make sure that the updated version stays true to this experience. And this was an area where we were really only fine-tuned with a little bit of a new foam package here. So when we talk about what's new, most lightweight, most comfortable, most modern here, is that starting with the comfort, we paid extra attention on the areas where the foot is most sensitive, and that's at the top of the tongue and around the top edge of the collar. Again, we didn't want to mess with the superior lock-in experience already, but we really wanted to also make sure that really the foam and the cushioning in these areas really delivers at an exceptionally elevated level. So that was one of the elements. Also the choice of the main material. The team developed an air mesh, an engineered air mesh that is super lightweight and breathable and very, very soft to the touch, which also really helps to elevate the comfort experience in the shoe quite significantly. Another element when it comes to making also the shoe lighter is that we developed a new last for the shoe. The last, for those who don't know, is the shape that a shoe is built around, constructed around, and it has plays a major role in how a shoe sits on a foot. Again, also here this new last that we then developed for the Barricade 14. It stayed consistent to the last we had used on the predecessor in the heel area, but we did spend quite a bit of time in really perfecting both the midfoot area of the shoe and the forefoot. What we did in the midfoot particularly is we made sure that the shoe is built around the last in a way that is really snug, because we don't want the foot to move in the shoe. We really want to make sure that it's locked in, it's secured, and there is no step between the heel fit and the midfoot. They're connected, and the lacing then enables to really tie it in and make sure that your foot is really secured in the shoe. You don't want it to move forward. Toe jamming, unfortunately, is a problem that many tennis athletes are unfortunately familiar with. By really making sure the foot stays in place, we prevent that from happening, and that was one of the benefits of the new last. It also enabled us to save a bit of weight, additional weight. Normally, to create the snugness in the midfoot area, you add additional layers of material or go with thicker packages of material. Because of the construction of the new last, we saved ourselves quite a bit of weight also here. And while I'm talking about the last, which is also one of the key differences, is we added a bit more spring in the forefoot. So when you see the shoes sitting side by side, you will see there's a bit more spring. We all know that the game of tennis has only gotten faster and there seems to be no end to it. So even though you might need a stable or prefer a stable, supportive shoe, you do want it to be fast, and you want that transition towards the toe, where you spend most of your time anyway, to be as quick and as easy as possible, which is where the additional spring in the toe area is going to help you. So the foam that you see in the forefoot here is our lightest weight, highest response sieve cushioning technology. It's Lightstrike Pro. You might know this from our Adizero racing shoe assortment. This is where an Adios Pro 4 or an Evo SL, to name a few shoes, this is the technology that they also use, and this is the first time we're introducing this technology in tennis. Which makes it super responsive when you're on your toes, where you want to be lightweight and have that energy return really maximized for your experience. In the heel, we stuck with repetitor foam. This is the technology that really provides the highest amount of shock absorption. While we do acknowledge the majority of time is spent on your forefoot, you do have those moments where you slide, where you break, where you do those lunge movements. And you really need that extra cushioning for that high impact that you have to absorb when you land on your heels. Speaking of agility, continuing with the changes, while talking about quick changes of direction, quick in and out, we reimagined the claw. Those of you who've been around in tennis for a while and are a bit more familiar with the history of Barricade, this has always been a signature feature on the shoe. And this is a really modern new interpretation. While we have some midsole sculpting here to address the same need, we were able now to solve for this additional lateral forefoot stability for those quick in and outs in a more lightweight and more modern version that is also maybe visually a bit reminiscent, closer to some models from the past. The last bit maybe is to talk about the TPU chassis that connects the heel with the midfoot, also wraps around the underfoot of the shoe. And this is really another very lightweight, modern solution to ensure that that premium heel lockdown translates seamlessly into the midfoot area. And it does that really as, again, like a seamless manner. It still allows for torsionability and flex as we need it in the shoe. But this is another new feature that we did not have on the predecessor model in this particular way. All in all, it's a very integrated, modern package that makes no compromise on stability and support.
We know you are spending a lot of time with internal testers or pro players to develop the shoes. How long does it take from the total beginning to the final version?
This one was a process, I want to say it was close to 3 years. What added to the development time of the shoe was the development of the new last, because we really, really sweated the details on absolutely premiumizing the in-shoe experience and make sure that the fit is really second to none. So we added additional rounds of prototyping where we really wanted to also do some blind studies with some of our testers, some of the more well-known names, even some of our pro player partners, to make sure that really that experience when you put on the shoe and how it then stays on foot and doesn't move around is really excellent. And that's what added an additional 3 to 4 months,
Okay.
which would normally be a little bit less, but still.
So the final feedback of this shoe?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can tell. I'm really genuinely super, super excited about this shoe because of all of the science and the art that has gone into it. It's been a phenomenal collaboration, within Adidas, working with the innovation team, our partners in running, our sports marketing team, with our Apex team, but then also with the entire network around us, with pro athletes, consumers, customers. And I really feel like we have something remarkable that is delivering against its promise, but in a really radically new, modern, comfortable, and lightweight manner.
Thank you so much, Annette, for all of your explanation about the Barricade 14. Now it's time to go to the court with our playtester to try this new Barricade 14. Hey Alex.
Hey.
So you just spent a couple of hours on the court to try this new Barricade
Yeah.
14. What is your first impression?
So first of all, I would say like all the information we had these days, it makes me feel really good to try the shoes on court and give my feedback. So the first thing will be stability of these shoes, as always for the Barricade range.
And what about the fit?
About the feet, I will say that they had a new technology that when you step in on the shoes, you're really locked in and you really feel comfortable.
Okay, and the look, because it looked very different than the previous version, so what do you say?
Definitely, as you said. So the look really premium. First of all, you can see the transparent part on the side of the shoes. Also the 3 long bands make me feel that you can recognize the shoes, the Adidas shoes directly when you are looking at it. The claw on the side look also really premium. So I would say they come up with also lateral reinforcement here, which make me feel the shoes is a bit thinner because this part is thinner as well.
Okay. And over the last year, you also tried this old Barricade 13.
Yeah.
What do you say are the main differences?
Before all, I tried these shoes when I was super young, so I tried the Barricade 4 at the beginning. But if we compare those 2 shoes, you can see directly some couple of insights. So first of all, the claw, as I said, it's reinforced the stability on the side. Here they put a big part of a new technology which make you feel even more dynamic on court. So when you have to go forward, it's even faster. As I said, the part here is a bit thinner. And one of the most thing is also the laces. You can see here they are lateral, here they put it in the center. For me, it's a really good thing because you really fit your foot inside really locked in.
Great, thank you Alex for your feedback, it's really helpful. This is the end of an incredible day at the Adidas headquarters here in Germany. We learned everything we need to know about the Barricade 14 and also about the Barricade heritage and what it means for Adidas.
If you want to get this new Barricade 14 or any more information about these shoes, go on our website, Tennis World, Tennis World Europe or Tennis Only. Thanks for watching.